I don't say your name out loud now. I don't turn each thought your way. I've learned how to keep on moving. I've learned how to fill a day. But memory has its own weather, its own pull, its own truth. And when the past leans in a little, it still leans me back to you. I'm not living in what's gone. I'm not asking for undo. Still in the quietest part of me, the answer keeps being you. I still choose you. I still choose you. Not in life the way I did, but in memory I do. I still choose you. I still choose you. Some things leave your hands, but never leave your truth. I can let the days move forward. I can let the seasons change. Still there's something in my center that your absence never rearranged. Not because I can't move past it, not because I don't know how, just because some kinds of loving don't ask time to help them out. I don't call it being stuck, I don't call it being through. I just know in certain corners of myself, the answer keeps being you. I still choose you. I still choose you. Not in life the way I did, but in memory I do. I still choose you. I still choose you. Some things leave your hands, but never leave your truth. Tender part, love can end and still stay true. That is something I'm returning to, just something that remains as you. I still choose you. I still choose you. Not to start it all again, just because some things stay true. I still choose you. I still choose you. Some hearts learn to carry on and still carry someone too. The world moves on, I move on too. Still somewhere soft, I choose you. almost called you for no good reason. Nothing had happened, nothing had broken open. Just one of those hours that bends toward the past. One of those spaces that makes old names come back. My hand knew before I did what it was reaching through. Funny how the body remembers what the mind tries not to do. I almost called you, I almost called you, not to begin again, just to hear something familiar. I almost called you, I almost called you. Some nights go still and old habits move through. I let it pass me like I've learned to do. Still for a second, the whole of me leaned toward you. Not because I'm unraveling, not because I want to lose, just because some empty minutes still know exactly where to move. I stopped before the sound, before the line went through. Still the wanting of that second told me more than I wanted to. I almost called you, I almost called you, not to begin again, just to hear something familiar. I almost called you, I almost called you. Some nights go still and old habits move through. Spotless, maybe that's the honest part. You can know exactly why it's over and still reach for it in the dark. I almost called you, I almost called you, not because I still belong there, just because some echoes do. I almost called you, I almost called you, and let the silence do what silence does. Almost reached, almost knew, almost called, almost you. You were talking, I was trying to listen, but you smiled halfway through, and I lost what I was thinking. Your hand moved across the table, nothing in the world could make this less than dangerous. I had a line, I had it ready. Then you looked up and I lost it completely. I almost said it, I almost let it show. How every little thing you do gets under my skin slow. I almost said it, but I let it pass instead. Some feelings sound too real the second that they're said. You lean back like you had time, like leaving wasn't something on your mind. You said my name like it was easy, and that alone was more than enough to reach me. I had the words, they were right there, and something in your eyes made me careful. I almost said it, I almost let it show. How every little thing you do gets under my skin slow. I almost said it, but I let it pass instead. Some feelings sound too real the second that they're said. Maybe you felt the whole thing and looked away the same. I almost said it, I almost crossed that line, but maybe there was something sweet about keeping it tonight. I almost said it, still you moved a little near, and somehow that was louder than anything I'd hear. I almost said it, you almost made me. It wasn't even much, really, just the way you turned your head, just the way you let a sentence fall and leave the rest unsaid. Still it stayed with me long after it should have passed. Funny how the smallest moment can outlive the largest past. I didn't know at the time that something so slight could root that deep in mind. It stayed with me, it stayed with me more than I thought. recall what song was on. Still I know the exact feeling of you being almost gone. And that almost keeps returning in the middle of the day, like memory doesn't need a reason, only something it can sway. I didn't ask for it to stay, but some things settle in and won't go away. It stayed with me, it stayed with me, more than I thought, more than I meant to keep. It stayed with me, it stayed with me, not like a wound, more like a pulse beneath. Some just shift the air, maybe some moments leave you altered without announcing they were there. It stayed with me, it stayed with me, long after the hour, long after the ease. It stayed with me, as a sorrow, just as something that still breathes, more than I thought. It stayed with me. Maybe not everything leaves the second it goes still. Maybe some things keep breathing long after they should have been still. I've seen the way a feeling lingers and what it doesn't say, how something unfinished can keep leaning toward a name. I'm not asking for forever, I'm not asking for a sign. I just know some doors stay open longer than we realize. Maybe not yet, maybe not yet. Maybe what we almost were hasn't left us yet. Maybe not yet, maybe not yet. Some things take the long way back before they find you again. I still hear it in your voice when it turns soft at the end, like there are words beneath it you don't know how to send. And I still catch it in myself, that pull I never hide, how your name can still arrive and shift the shape of time. I'm not building castles, I'm not calling this fate. I just think some truths move slowly till they're too real to escape. Maybe not yet, maybe not yet. Maybe what we almost were hasn't left us yet. Maybe not yet, maybe not yet. Some things take the long way back before they find you again. It's not a promise, maybe it's a softer thing, just enough to keep us silence from becoming anything. Maybe not yet, maybe not yet. Maybe what still moves in me moves in you somewhere. Maybe not yet, maybe not yet. Some things don't know how to end, they only disappear and bend. Maybe not yet. Maybe not yet. Low light on your skin, soft jazz in the room. The way you look at me makes the whole night bloom. Your hand close to mine, your breath slow and warm. Everything feels right here inside your arms. Don't say too much, just stay this way. Some feelings shine when words don't play. Stay a little longer, don't let this fade. Hold me in the quiet, like we were made. Stay a little longer, close enough to feel. Some nights come and go, but this one feels real. Your smile moves so slow, like a song I know, sweet and easy now, soft and golden low. No need to run, no need to hide. Love feels better here with you by love is light. Maybe it's the way you make me like the night. Stay a little longer. Don't let this fade. Hold me in the quiet, like we were made. Stay a little longer, close enough to feel. Some nights come and go, but this one feels real. Stay a little longer, stay a little slow. Tonight feels like a memory I won't let go. We didn't end in one clean motion, nothing sharp enough to name, just a gradual kind of distance, taking hold without a sound. You still linger in the outline of the things we didn't say, like the last page of a letter, folded up and put away. I've known what leaving looks like. This was something else entirely, more like losing part of a sentence before it had the chance to carry. Not all the way gone, not all the way gone. Well, we were stopped moving, but it never fully moved on. Not all the way gone, not all the way gone. Some things don't survive, but they don't disappear all at once. I still reach the edge of speaking and feel your name beneath the line, like some part of my mouth remembers, but the rest of me won't try. No, I don't call it hoping, I don't call it holding on. It's just the way unfinished things keep breathing after they are done. I've known silence after endings. This isn't silence, not completely. It's more like something low and constant, still insisting underneath me. Not all the way gone, not all the way gone. Well, we were stopped moving, but it never fully moved on. Not all the way gone, not all the way gone. Some things don't survive, but they don't disappear all at once. That's what makes it linger. No last word to say. just a love that lost its language, still refusing to leave town. Not all the way gone, not all the way gone. What we were is over, but it still keeps traveling on. Not all the way gone, not all the way gone. Some things don't return, but they don't release you all at once. We didn't finish, we just stopped. Not all the way gone. I don't break at the mention, I don't stop when your name appears. I can make it through an evening now without losing half the year. I've learned the shape of distance, I've learned what not to keep. Still some part of what we were wakes slightly under me. It's not as sharp, it's not as loud, it's just the last few threads. I haven't lived without. I'm almost over you, almost over you. Like a tide that's moving out, but still leaves something blue. I'm almost over you, almost over you. Not enough to call it gone, just not the way it used to move. I can laugh without comparing, I can walk past where we've been. I can let the day keep going without pulling you back in. But every now and then a phrase or the turn of someone's head will touch the place you used to live and wake the quiet in its bed. It doesn't stay the way it stayed, it only visits now then fades. I'm almost over you, almost over you. Like a tide that's moving out, but still leaves something blue. I'm almost over you, almost over you. Not enough to call it gone, just not the way it used to move. parts of you inside my heart. I'm almost over you, almost over you. Far enough to breathe again, but not untouched by you. I'm almost over you, almost over you. Not the ache I knew before, just the echo of its truth. Almost over you, not all the way, but close enough to feel the day. I've heard love dressed up before, in pretty words and restless hands. I've seen people call it something they can never really stand. But you are different in the quiet. You don't have to make it loud. You just sit close, and somehow that's enough. You don't pull me into chaos. You don't leave me needing more. You just make the room feel steady, like I found what I was looking for. With you I know what love can be. Not a fire I have to chase, just something that stays with me. With you I know how soft it gets when somebody sees your heart and treats it like it's worth the breath. You don't reach for grand gestures. You don't turn this into art. But the way you say my name goes further than most people's hearts. And when the world gets too heavy, you don't ask me to be light. You just hold me where I am and make it feel alright. There's a peace in how you love me. There's a truth in how you stay. And I never have to wonder if your heart is somewhere else these days. With you I know what love can be. Not a fire I have to chase, just something that stays with me. With you I know how soft it gets when somebody sees your heart and treats it like it's worth the breath. Maybe real love isn't loud. With you, I know what love can be. Not a dream that slips away, just something living next to me. With you, I know how true it gets when somebody holds your heart and never makes you second guess. With you, I know, and that is everything. I didn't keep the hardest parts. I let those loosen in their own time. I didn't keep the nights that blurred, or every place we crossed a line. What stayed was smaller and somehow more true. The way your voice would lower when you were trying not to undo. Time took its share, it always will. Still there was something it couldn't unbuild. The part I kept, the part I kept, was never the ending. It was what felt most honest. The part I kept, the part I kept, not all of the story, just the gentlest bit. I kept the steadiness, I kept the warmth, I kept the version of us that didn't have to force. I let the rest go quietly, the strain, the slow misread. But some tenderness was real enough to stay after the rest had left. And maybe that's enough, maybe that's what remains. Not everything that happened, just what still holds shape. The part I kept, the part I kept, was never the ending. It was what felt most honest. The part I kept, the part I kept, not all of the story, just the gentlest bit. Maybe memory is kinder when it learns what not to save. Not to lie about the whole thing, just to honor what was brave. The part I kept, the part I kept, was never the sorrow. It was what still had grace. its place. Only the gentle part, only the part I kept. We grew quiet, that's how it happened. No slammed doors, no words to take back. Just less of the easy, less of the turn toward one another when something inside burned. We didn't fall, we thinned. We learned how to stay without staying in. We grew quiet, we grew quiet, not all at once, but enough to lose it. We grew quiet, we grew quiet. Some loves don't break, they dim into it. I still remember the effort of sounding normal near the end. How tenderness can keep smiling while already coming loose at the seams. And even now what haunts me isn't a fight, isn't blame. It's how two people can still be gentle and still not remain the same. No sharp edge, no loud regret, just the kind of ending you don't notice until it's left. We grew quiet, we grew quiet, not all at once, but enough to lose it. We grew quiet, we grew quiet. Some loves don't break, they dim into it. Maybe that's why I still feel it. There's no wound to point toward, just the ache of something fading without ever going hard. We grew quiet, we grew quiet, not in anger, not in ruin. We grew quiet, we grew quiet. Some things don't collapse, they simply stop moving without a sound. We grew quiet. There were things I almost gave you, still caught somewhere in my mouth. Little truths that came too slowly, then got left without a sound. Not because they didn't matter, not because they weren't there. I just kept them one beat longer, till they thinned into the air. And now they live where silence lives, not gone, just never given. What I didn't say, what I didn't say, stayed with me longer than I thought it would stay. What I didn't say, what I didn't say, some things go unspoken and still don't fade. I still hear the places where they almost found their way, in the pause before I answered, in the glance I let decay. You were closer than I let you know, further than I could admit, and the words I thought would wait for me never learned how to fit. And now they drift between then and now, not loud, but not gone somehow. What I didn't say, what I didn't say, stayed with me longer than I thought it would stay. What I didn't say, what I didn't say, some things go unspoken and still don't fade. Maybe truth can miss its moment and still live on afterward, not as something I can take back, just as the weight of an unused word. What I didn't say, what I didn't say, still moves beneath me in a quieter way. What I didn't say, what I didn't say, some things stay unfinished and still remain, stayed in my mouth, stayed in my chest. What I didn't say stayed best. Most of it has thinned by now. The sharper parts, the sudden pull. What once moved through me daily no longer asks to be held full. There's only something smaller, something quieter that remains. Not enough to stop a life, just enough to leave a name. And maybe that's what lasts the longest, not the loudest part, just the last soft honesty of it. The last thing that stayed, the last thing that stayed was never the ache itself, just what tenderness made. The last thing that stayed, the last thing that stayed, not the whole of you, just what time wouldn't take. I can speak of it without folding. I can carry it without weight. What's left no longer presses, it simply lives at a gentler rate. And if I feel it now, I let it. No need to call it back or through. Some endings turn to witness more than loss, more than truth. No need to open, no need to close. Some things complete themselves by growing low. The last thing that stayed, the last thing that stayed was never the ache itself, just what tenderness made. The last thing that stayed, the last thing that stayed, not the whole of you, just what time wouldn't take. Peace is not erasing. Maybe peace is letting be. What once lived like weather, now resting quietly in me. The last thing that stayed, the last thing that stayed was never the wound itself, just the grace it gave. The last thing that stayed, the last thing that stayed, not the whole of you, just the part I can keep. What stayed last stayed light. What stayed last stayed kind. no need to be saved. Things had a softness, a rhythm, a thread, like the world stepped lighter around what we had said. I don't go back to live there now. Still there's a part of me that knows the shape somehow. It used to be us, it used to be us. Not in some perfect way, still it was enough. It used to be us, it used to be us. Some things lose their future and still keep their touch. I don't miss every minute, I don't miss all of the weight. I miss the way your presence could alter an ordinary day. And maybe that's the sorrow, not what ended, not what fell. Just knowing something once felt natural and knowing it too well. No bitterness, no war, just a tenderness that doesn't live there anymore. It used to be us, it used to be us. Not in some perfect way, still it was enough. It used to be us, it used to be us. Some things lose their future and still keep their touch. Maybe memory is kindest when it doesn't ask for more, just lets a past day beautiful without trying to restore. It used to be us, it used to be us. Not to make me stay behind, just to honor what it was. It used to be us, it used to be us. Some things leave your life and still remain with love. Before it changed, it was us. There's less of you each day, not in some sudden way. Just listen how the morning lands, listen what the silence says. You don't arrive as often in the middle of a thought, and that alone feels different now. than I ever thought it would. I used to think it would be all or none, but healing has a softer hand. It works in smaller sums. Less of you each day, less of you each day. Not because you didn't matter, because you're fading in your own way. Less of you each day, less of you each day. Some things leave politely and loosen while they stay. I still catch a trace sometimes, a phrase, a turn, a hue, but even those feel lighter now than they used to move through. I'm not asking where it's going, I'm not trying to hold it still. I just know the weight is shifting, and that feels almost kind, almost real. Not all at once, not all clean, just less of what kept reaching through me. Less of you each day, less of you each day. Not because you didn't matter, because you're fading in your own way. Less of you each day, less of you each day. Some things leave politely and loosen while they stay. Maybe that's the mercy of it, not forgetting, not undoing, just waking up one day and finding the ache has stopped pursuing. Less of you each day, less of you each day. Not enough to call it gone, just enough to feel the change. Less of you each day, less of you each day. Some things stop surrounding you before they go away. Less of you, less of you each day. I wasn't ready for the quiet, not for how it spread around, not for how an ordinary evening could suddenly feel this loud. Not because you filled each second or made a show of being there, just because your way of staying changed the shape of all the air. And when you left, so did something else. Not a person, just a sense of ease itself. I wasn't ready for the quiet. I wasn't ready for the quiet after you. It had a different kind of way to it. I wasn't ready for the quiet. I wasn't ready for the quiet. Not the silence itself, just what remained inside it. I've grown used to it a little. I've learned how to let it pass. Still some evenings catch me open and bring it back too fast. It doesn't ask for tears now. It doesn't stop me in my place. It just reminds me how much softness once moved through the day with grace. No great collapse, no need to plead, just the sound of not having what I didn't know I'd need. I wasn't ready for the quiet. I wasn't ready for the quiet after you. It had a different kind of way to it. I wasn't ready for the quiet. I wasn't ready for the quiet. Not the silence itself, just what remained inside it. Maybe emptiness is not dramatic. Maybe it comes in subtler ways, like finding out how much of presence once held together in a day. I wasn't ready for the quiet. I wasn't ready for the quiet after you. It turned familiar, but it never fit. I wasn't ready for the quiet. I wasn't ready for the quiet. Not because it stayed too long, because it taught me what I missed after you. It was quiet after you. It was quiet.